Ladies and gentlemen, still at the National Film Festival in Tangier, joined with another special guest. He's also a Moroccan star. I'll let him introduce himself to us.
My name is Hakim Belabbes. I'm an aspiring filmmaker.
Okay.
And I'm also the director of the ISMAC, which is the Higher Institute of Audiovisual Professionals and Cinema in Morocco.
Perfect. So, can you tell us, your first impression of this 25th edition? Because I believe it's not your first participation in this festival. This is 25th. Of course, you must have.
It's not, but because I'm the president of the jury, also I have to watch what I say. But I'm not going to. Listen. There's the interesting thing for me is that there's always a theme that kind of like springs out, and kind of shoots up at you. It almost makes it feel like people did get together and they decided, okay, these are the subjects that we're going to tackle. These are the themes that we're going to have. But I think these are signs of the time.
Okay.
Everything from women's issues to autism to immigration, themes of the desert, empty spaces that are full of the invisible. So there's a pretty interesting mix, and to me there's also the shorts that I see, which are very diverse. But I think there's a lot of work still.
So, of course, as you've said, you've taken part in the previous editions. So, what's the difference between the previous editions and the 25th edition?
They're pretty much all the same. I think the interesting thing is that what is essential, as far as I'm concerned, is that it's a communal type of event. Pretty much everybody knows everybody. Now that the festival is held in this big, beautiful palace, although it's still empty, it needs to be filled. I wish there were crowds every day in all of the screenings. But it's always I've been coming here for years actually. I've had filmed here, but there's I don't know. There's something still missing for me, and I think it is at the level of writing. And it's not. I don't know. I'm still struggling with it. I haven't seen everything. I saw some little gems. I saw certain films that start something, but it doesn't get to where it wants to get. But ultimately, I think I'm not saying this as a criticism, because I think we need to fail, and we need to fail and fail and fail. It doesn't matter. But
they say failure is the mother of all success.
Absolutely. And if you don't fail, then you'll regret it.
Yeah, of course. So far, have you seen some short films and also feature films? What is your impression so far? Short films and the feature films,
Short films are a lot harder to make, because you have to go to what is essential. You have to go to some idea or some theme or some essential image that you want to tackle. You don't have the time to develop, which is sometimes a blessing. Because the opposite could happen, where someone will spend the first 20 minutes just in exposition, just describing to you what you can sometimes even imagine, what you can think. I can see it coming. And so short films are actually a pretty good exercise for a lot of people.
Okay.
Because you don't have the time. It's almost like you start with the close-up. You don't need to set up. You don't need the space and the wide shot and the medium and then the cutting. And therefore
straight to the climax.
Got to a little bit before, and sometimes maybe there is no climax, because we tell stories differently. We're not very Aristotelian in the sense of beginning, middle, and end and stuff like that. Well, people did this before the 60s. Vertov did this in the 20s. You ever seen the man with the movie
Of
camera?
course, of course, of course.
No, but I think that those are good exercises. I have students of mine here with their films. One that was selected here is a gorgeous film. He wanted to make something about resurrection.
Does he speak English?
Huh?
Does he speak English?
But
can maybe interview him later.
A little bit. But there are others who can help him.
Yeah,
if you want to meet with them,
sure, perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
they're pretty brilliant. I just sent them. They were down in the desert for 3 weeks,
Nice.
shooting a big project. And to me, that's the best way to learn.
Yeah, of course.
That's why I'm saying it's the practice. You have to do it. You have to be confronted, and you have to be open and listen. I wish I could meet pretty much everybody who's in competition and tell them, my 2 cent opinion about what I saw. But I don't like that. I don't like the idea of like, okay, you don't talk to the jurors and you don't talk to until after the award. Who cares about the awards? It's the experience of people exchanging. Is if somebody is interested in hearing you, they may learn one or two different things.
They say sharing is caring. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and of course you've been in the industry for quite a while. How many years so far? You've been in the industry for quite a while. How many years so far?
I don't like that one. I don't make.
I would say you're
no.
very experienced.
Well, no, not really. It's not that I'm very experienced.
No, you are.
It's just the term itself. I don't think anybody can claim to talk about the film industry in Morocco. It's starting because the private sector is barely involved. We still make films because the state funds the films that the filmmakers make. They call it in avance sur recette. Very few films actually do get a chance to. Aji Ali, here's one of my students. He speaks English.
You speak very well, right?
Ali, come on, you can talk to the lady. Who else is here? Because that's what we do.
Yeah, you can ask us to join. Yeah,
Perfect.
perfect. So you can ask them. Yeah, you can ask them to join. You can go.
No, I don't like the term because I think it's almost like it's a big term for what's happening here.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we have a cinema. I think Ahmed Manuni?
Of course.
Okay, have you talked to him?
Not yet. I'm looking
He
for him.
speaks English.
I know he does, but I'm looking for.
But we kind of see it a little bit from the same perspective about the fact that I think what we need maybe is like a Moroccan cinema vision 2035 or something where it's like whatever is happening in soccer now will happen for cinema. I think that the idea of funding films without holding the hand of the filmmakers, but not necessarily in Cannes residences or in Berlin residences, because and I've seen a few films that I know have been workshopped in a few places. They have the same. Too many hands and too many cooks in the kitchen. It gets rusty. So what ends up happening is that the filmmaker ends up losing their perspective. They end up losing their point of view. And a film without a point of view, without an imprint of who the hell you are, then you end up in the industry.
And because you're also a professor, obviously, and
I'm not.
Well, you told me you have got students, so technically a professor.
I don't teach. I just share.
You share, you mentor, you guide, so that's you're considered a professor. No,
I'm serious. I'm serious. Because the best way to teach is not to teach. It's like the best way to act is not act. Best acting is the absence of it.
And like, I have a lot of students actually who want to pursue a career in like cinema and acting and movies. So what is your message to them?
What is my advice? If I could help myself, I would give myself advice. But no, I'll tell you, very, very quickly. They need to read Letters to a Young Poet by Rainer Maria Rilke. They need to read In the Blink of an Eye by Walter Murch. They need to read Sculpting in Time by Andrei Tarkovsky, and they need maybe to read Joseph Campbell, The Hero's Journey.
So why not
And
really,
watch movies.
And watch. Why don't this why doesn't it read books? Why don't they read books?
I can ask you the same question.
Yeah.
What I can tell you is right now at the Institute we have a book club and it's mandatory and they are forced to read. I think we have to kind of do some sort of a re-education to the taste of reading. But you have these little gems. I have a student at the Institute who cannot read anything as PDF. She has to touch paper. She has to sleep and smell the paper. She's an avid reader, and I always try to poke the other ones who don't read that basically for filmmaking there are no cutting corners. You have to be well read, you have to watch, and then fail and see what happens.
Oh, you said it's become mandatory right now to read. You're forcing them to read books. So how can we make them love reading books instead of forcing them to read books?
This is like how much time you got. I think, I mean, do you read?
I do actually.
You read?
Yeah.
How did you start?
Well,
In the crib?
it was not in the crib. of
Your
course.
mom or your dad reading to you?
Yeah, it was my mom and dad.
And
Yeah.
then what happens at school?
Actually, I was not taught how to read or read books at school at all. You know, it was just because I wouldn't call it peer pressure, but I had a lot of friends. You know, whenever we start a conversation, they would talk about different topics, and I found myself clueless, not knowing anything about what they were talking about.
Yeah.
So then
you were shamed into it.
I was shamed into it. That's the perfect answer.
You know, that's what we're trying to do now. But like last year, we had a hard time getting things started. But this year, we have a cine club.
Yeah.
They watch a film every day, 5 o'clock after they finish class. And on Saturday, they stay overnight. So they watch at least 4 movies. And they have to discuss them, they have to write reports. I don't care about writing reports. I just need people to see something, react to it from their senses. You know, what did they feel more than what did they think? Because I think sometimes we think too much. And when I see like some of the films that I saw, like the shorts and even official competition, whatever. It seems like, you know, people think too much. And what you forget is that film is, literally, I'm going to say, film is sensual in the sense that it has to be felt. You know, if I want a thesis, I'd go back to university. I need to be moved by something. I need to see something that I've never seen before. I need to be surprised by something. I need to be slapped silly by one image or one moment in the film. That's the only reason I'm here. That's how I do it.
I think my students are gonna love this interview because they're gonna learn a lot of things from it. Thank you very much, guys. We're joined with the rock star Karim. Thank you very much. Take a picture. Take a picture.